All right, before we get into the meat of this video, I just think it's important to know that you can start with anything. Start today. With streaming, it's more about finding your voice, finding your audience, finding what makes you unique. The equipment, the software, there's so much free stuff out there. You can start at anything. You can start with your phone, your console, potato PC. It doesn't matter. I think YouTube always wants us to think of the next thing to buy to make something better, or the next gimmick or tool or toy that you need, or people won't want you without it. It's not true. Just get out there and get started. And you really also don't want to invest a bunch of money into something because streaming takes a lot of time. So if you're investing a lot of time and a lot of money, it's going to make it stressful. You're probably not going to enjoy it. So just get out there, start streaming, and see if you like it first. And if you're just starting out, watch this video after you've done, maybe a month or so of streaming. All right, so then to everyone that just ignored that first segment and jumped ahead with the chapter, the thing that you want to buy that's most important for streaming is going to be a microphone. Now, a lot of things will tell you that you should buy a really expensive computer or a camera or a capture card. And yeah, those things are nice. And especially if you're mixing it up, you're doing some YouTube content creation or video editing or whatever. But at the end of the day, I think the thing that's most important is that people can hear you with your streaming. A good microphone will make the greatest impact, more than a fancy DSLR or mirrorless camera, more than being able to encode at 1080p, 120 FPS, which doesn't even exist yet at slow. Getting a good microphone is the first and most important purchase you should make. And you should only make this purchase if you're seeing a reasonable income from streaming, not, $100 after 6 months. It has to be a few $100s, $500 where it's a legitimate side hustle and you're looking to maybe take your streaming to the next level. All right, so why is a microphone so important? Well, like I said, aside from people being able to hear you, unless having a scuffed mic is part of your streaming gimmick, you have to think about what the meta is in streaming and what people's roadmap has become. So you've seen streamers of all sizes at some point in time, no matter how hardcore of a gamer they state they are, their stream turns into a talk show. Start watching YouTube videos, start watching shows that you shouldn't. But at some point in time, you're just going to sit back and talk with your chat. And it's really good to make this as engaging as possible. Maybe you're also going to join other streamer talk shows and talk to them. And you don't want to be the one with the terrible mic that no one can hear and you don't get invited back again. So have a good mic. It'll go really long, really far in your streaming career. And it's a really good investment that you theoretically only need to purchase once. All right, so what microphone should you get? Well, the obvious and most common recommendation is either going to be the Shure SM7B or the Electro Voice RE20. These are really good mics. They're really solid. They're not the cheapest, but they're not some unreasonable price. They're not like a $3,000 mic or anything like that. You do have to buy a couple extra pieces or components to get them to work properly, depending on what your audio interface is. But everyone knows that these are good. These are solid. I'm not going to go against the grain here. But I will say that is a hefty investment. You're looking at $500, $600, $700 if you don't have an audio interface, if you don't have a cloud lifter. That's a lot of gear to invest in, a mic arm. So I will say that what will get you pretty much 95, 98% of the way there is going to be a Shure MV7. It's designed just to be like the SM7B. Maybe it has a bit of a different sonic profile, but it'll get you there. And you can improve it over time. It doesn't have to be USB. You can send it to an audio interface if you like, if you want to upgrade your setup. But even on that note, getting like a Samson Q8 USB microphone, these microphones, it's all about mic placement, and it'll still have the dynamic capabilities to, reject noise from the background. And you can even sweeten them over time. Like, you're not maybe going to get the highest highs, but you put in some VSTs, free or paid, and you can make any mic sound awesome with correct positioning, setting the right levels, and adding some things like compression and EQ to make things sound really nice. All right, so this is a relatively short video, but I think it's important that I put it out because in my past, there's been 2 instances where I bought a huge amount of stream gear, and the first time it put a really heavy financial burden on me, and I'm extremely lucky, emphasis on lucky, that it worked out and I was able to make a career out of streaming. Although it wasn't as being a streamer, it was just working in the industry. The second time, I was in better shape and it was just for fun, but I did go a little overkill. And that time, it was just the grind of streaming and dealing with all the equipment that just burnt me out. And I was like, oh man, what am I going to do with all this? I ended up selling most of it. So Again, if this is a hobby, let it be a hobby. If you have tons of money, go nuts, buy whatever you want. But if you're looking into this as exploring it as a side hustle or something like that, make sure you enjoy it first and make sure you have a game plan and a way to do this in the long run. And don't feel like you need to buy a bunch of equipment. Just look at some of the streams out there. There's no white balance. The camera looks terrible, but it's funny, it's entertaining, and that's what you need to be as a person, as a streamer. You need to be entertaining. People aren't going to come anyway. And even if you are the funnest person, then you need a game plan to get yourself out there. You need to invade podcasts and have a whole goal. But hopefully this video saved you a few bucks. If you have any questions about these microphones, how to set them up, other microphones you might be thinking about buying, if they work, if they're good or bad, let me know. I've worked with a lot of different mics, both USB, cheap, prosumer, whatever it is. Let me know in the comments. I'll try to help you out. Thanks again for watching. Take care of yourselves out there.